My colleague Nhlanhla Kgatlana is standing by to bring us the very latest from day 3 of the ANC's National General Council. Nhlanhla, I suppose it will remain the big talking point, right, the relationship with this SACP. But I suppose tonight one would ask, what then becomes the modalities as they're now hoping to outline all of that at the upcoming Alliance Summit?
Well, very good evening, Mbogwe. Indeed, it's one of those issues that since that decision by the SACP was made and they kept on pronouncing on it, the reality was the question of how and how is it going to affect the relationship with its brother or sister, the ANC. Something that the ANC, have, said out loudly that they were totally against, the issue or that decision of the SACP to contest elections independently, and we know that the party kept on, trying to convince the SACP, but the SACP, or rather the Communist Party, was resolute in its decision. But with me here, I have a guest who is also attending here, Tebogo Letsie, who is the chairperson of higher education and training in Parliament, who's just going to talk to us with regards to, the role that you play today as the ANC. I mean, just tell us which commission you were at and what contribution you made.
No, thank you very much, and thanks for having us. I think we attended, obviously, the Education, Health and Science Commission, where we made contributions towards making sure that basic education, higher education, health, science and technology, one, they're given proper budgets and making sure that we're able to give service delivery as far as that is concerned. We made also contributions as to how to better use the resources that are given to those different sectors. So we made quite a number of contributions, and the Commission then agreed on what is it that we are going to present to plenary. It will be presented, our Commission will present tomorrow in plenary, and then I'm sure the leadership of the ANC is going to speak to you about how we resolve as far as that commission is concerned.
You are in Parliament. Let's just talk about, the oversight role of the committee that you chair in Parliament. The issue of higher education in UNISA seems to be a war that is brewing there. The VC there is accused of, you're talking about resources. She was accused of spending almost 200 million on legal fees, and people arguing that, but that money could have been used for something. In terms of your role, are you as Parliament playing that role? I mean, we know that there's also another issue that she's facing, which is regarding her credentials, claims that she might not have a master's. Then that begs the question, what is the role of the portfolio that you lead in Parliament, or you chair?
No, thank you very much. Maybe we must clarify first that those allegations, they came to light recently, and if you read the document that was written about that document further makes false accusation, at least about myself, that I would have been given a security tender from UNISA worth 82 million rands, which is false, which is fallacy, which is nonsense accusation that would have been made against myself, because I don't own any company, I don't have any tender, whether at UNISA or at any other institution for that matter. I mean, that legal company that wrote that thing, and they claim that they've got a client, Simamkele something, Simamkele Khani, that they are representing, would have made those allegations. I mean, it would have been very easy, to say, let's check which company was awarded, let's go to CIPC, let's get the directors of those or of that company, if indeed it exists. What irks me is that why would they then use my name there, and then you then have your colleague, somebody who I honestly have just lost respect for, Abraham Mashego, who just decided that in their publication that they are going to publish gossip without affording me an opportunity to even respond. I mean, any person who has studied journalism, they'll tell you must give the person a right to reply. I mean, he has decided not to do so. He has not given me a right to reply. He goes and writes a newspaper article on a Sunday when, I mean, people on Sunday, you know, they read a lot of newspapers, writes, and I think that is calculated because there's a narrative that they want to run. And as soon as we're clear there, we will clarify that. But back to your questions about 200 million being used on legal fields. I mean, it's something that personally, I as the chairperson of the portfolio committee would have spoken against, that university or our institutions can use these resources that we have, you know, to settle their scores, use legal fees to get rid of students, to get rid of workers, to get rid of dissent in our institutions. This is not the only institution, if indeed it's 200 million. We've fought with a number of these institutions that you can use such things, and indeed if it's true, which, you know, at this point I doubt because of the lie that they would have said about me, but if it is true, obviously we will write to the institution to clarify whether if that is true and to give us a breakdown of all of those things, how much they've used on what case and what would have been the reason. To the allegations of credentials of the Vice Chancellor, I think she's better placed to respond to those allegations. The Council of UNISA is better placed to respond to those credentials, because I would not have known.
Okay, before I let you go, just in a minute, I mean, the UNISA issue is not a new one. In terms of your role to play oversight, what have you done in a minute?
Look, there were allegations that UNISA would have paid in the January 8 event in Cape Town last year, would have paid 500,000 per table to buy a table.
That must be concerning.
Yeah, no, of course. We went to UNISA this year. It was myself who asked the UNISA Council to clarify that particular part. They clarified, the Council of UNISA clarified. In fact, the question was responded to by the President of Convocation of UNISA, who, by the way, is not a member of the NC, is a provincial leader. I think the Deputy Secretary of the EFF in the Northwest, who's the President of Convocation, clarified that he said it was us as council who wanted to buy, because there was no other opportunity for council to have so many ministers and presidents in the same place. So we were clarified.
Well, thank you so much. That was Tebogo Letsie, who's also attending the NGC here, Bonge, talking to us about a lot of issues. There's this issue that one of 10 companies linked to his name is also doing business with the university. Hence, there's no action in terms of, you know, grievances that are brought forward. I mean, the allegations that that particular institution, the Vice Chancellor or the current administration there has spent close to 200 million. There's also an issue that is brewing with regards to, you know, her academic credentials, claims that she doesn't have, you know, qualifications. You know that UNISA about 2-3 years ago, and the previous minister, Blayton Zimand, was put under administration, but that decision was reversed after they said that they were taking the Musia report on review. Bonge, with that being said, it's back to you in studio.
Ntantla Khatane, our colleague, thank you so much for that, and we'll continue then to monitor the developments at the National General Council of the ANC in Boksburg.